When DeFi began to boom back in the summer of 2020, the insanely high interest rates many of its revolutionary protocols offered on stablecoins took the crypto world by storm. As many people predicted, these high rates didn't last for long, and today you'd be hard-pressed to find a way to earn a significant interest rate on stablecoins in any DeFi dApp. That is, unless you're using Anchor Protocol. Today, I'm going to tell you a bit about Anchor Protocol, explain how it works, review some of the risks associated with it, and show you how you can use it to earn double digits on stablecoin deposits. Hold that thought, there's a disclaimer I've got. Financial advice, this video is not. Education and entertainment are the only ingredients in my pot. Please contact a financial advisor if you're trying to be a financial astronaut. If this is the first time we see each other, my name is Guy and I am a crypto lover. My passion compels me to make the highest quality crypto content you'll ever discover. Coins, tokens, news, and reviews are just a few of the topics that I cover. If this sounds as good as supper, smash that like button and ping that notification bell to become a crypto sister or brother. If the clock is ticking faster than you expected, you can use the timestamps to skip ahead to any interesting subjects you've detected. Just know that the ones who watch until the end are well respected. Now that I've made sure you're not misdirected, it's about time Anchor Protocol got inspected. Anchor Protocol is a decentralized lending protocol on the Terra cryptocurrency blockchain. It was built by Terraform Labs, the same South Korean software company that created Terra. Anchor Protocol went live in March 2021 and has since become the largest dApp on Terra by total value locked, with over $8 billion of cryptocurrency deposited into its savings protocol. Now, Anchor Protocol is popular because it makes it possible to earn a stable annual interest rate of roughly 20% per year on the UST stablecoin, which is almost 40 times more than what most banks offer on savings these days. For those unfamiliar, UST is a decentralized stablecoin whose peg is maintained by a mint and burn mechanism, wherein $1 worth of Terra's Luna coin can be burned to mint 1 UST, and 1 UST can be burned to mint $1 worth of Luna. So, when UST is trading above its $1 peg, this incentivizes Luna holders to burn their Luna to mint UST and make a quick profit. The increase in UST supply eventually brings UST's price back down to the $1 peg. On the flip side, when UST is trading below its $1 peg, this incentivizes UST holders to burn their UST to mint Luna and make a quick profit. The decrease in UST supply eventually brings UST's price back to the $1 peg. UST has a total supply of nearly 12 billion, and this makes it the largest decentralized stablecoin by market cap. UST's massive supply can be found on multiple cryptocurrency blockchains, mainly on Terra, with more than half of UST's supply being locked up on the Anchor Protocol alone. Now, you can learn more about Terra using the link in the description. So, how does Anchor Protocol work? Well, to understand the inner workings of the Anchor Protocol, you need to be familiar with two things: staking and decentralized lending and borrowing. Put simply, staking is when you lock up your cryptocurrency for a certain amount of time in exchange for something, usually more of the same cryptocurrency. In proof of stake, validators stake cryptocurrency to process transactions on that cryptocurrency's blockchain. In exchange, they earn transaction fees and block rewards. In this case, validators on Terra stake Luna and earn about 9% per year in transaction fees and block rewards, which are of course paid in Luna. Now, the catch is that Terra validators must lock up their Luna for at least 21 days, and if they try and manipulate transactions on the blockchain, they will lose some of their stake in a process known as slashing. Staking is also possible in many DeFi protocols. Rather than earning transaction fees and block rewards in exchange for processing transactions, DeFi stakers often earn protocol fees and earn the right to participate in community governance, aka vote on how the protocol is changed. In this case, stakers on the Anchor protocol stake the ANC token and earn about 20% per year in protocol fees, which are, of course, paid in ANC. Stakers can also table and vote on proposed changes to the protocol. The catch is that the ANC token is very inflationary, and this means it has a harder time holding its value compared with other cryptocurrencies. This is the case with most DeFi tokens, but ANC is a bit of an exception in this regard. More on that later. As for decentralized lending and borrowing, this basically consists of two components, lenders and borrowers. So far, so good. So, on the lending side, lenders deposit their cryptocurrency into a borrowing and lending protocol. This makes it possible for individual lenders to withdraw their funds whenever they want, since it's very unlikely that all the lenders will withdraw at the same time. In this case, lenders on the Anchor protocol deposit UST into the protocol. To clarify, lenders are synonymous with savers in this context. This means that when you deposit UST into the Anchor protocol, what you're actually doing is lending your UST to borrowers behind the scenes. On the borrowing side, borrowers deposit a dollar amount of cryptocurrency that's worth more than the dollar amount of cryptocurrency they want to borrow. This is called over-collateralization, and it exists to ensure the protocol always has enough money to cover the cost of the crypto being borrowed. In this case, borrowers on the Anchor protocol deposit either Luna or ETH to borrow an amount of UST from lenders that's worth up to 80% of the dollar value of the crypto they deposited. So, for example, if a borrower deposits $1,000 of Luna, they can borrow $800 of UST. Now, if you're wondering why anyone would ever take out this kind of over-collateralized loan, the answer is leverage. Many traders will use their crypto as collateral to borrow stablecoins and use those stablecoins to buy even more crypto when the market is rallying. Lots of people also use over-collateralized crypto loans to pay their bills between paychecks without having to sell any crypto. On the lending side, lenders are incentivized to deposit their idle coins and tokens in exchange for the interest that borrowers pay on their crypto loans. On that note, if a borrower borrows more than 80% of the dollar value of their collateral in UST, or if this threshold is met because of the interest they owe on any UST they borrowed, the collateral they put up is liquidated, i.e. sold. This, again, to ensure that the protocol has enough money to remain solvent. In any case, if you're curious about other ways you can make passive income in crypto, you can refer to my video in the description. Now that you have the basics under your belt, it's time to address the elephant in the room. How the hell does Anchor Protocol produce a stable interest rate of 20% for UST savers, aka lenders? I mean, surely it must be a Ponzi scheme of some kind. Well, believe it or not, it boils down to nothing more than basic economics. Allow me to explain. So a few moments ago, I mentioned that borrowers on Anchor Protocol deposit Luna or ETH to borrow UST. This isn't entirely correct. Borrowers on the Anchor Protocol must deposit staked Luna or staked ETH to borrow UST. On Anchor Protocol, staked Luna is referred to as bonded Luna or B-Luna, and staked ETH is referred to as bonded ETH or B-ETH. B-Luna is created by depositing regular Luna into a special smart contract on the Anchor protocol that delegates the deposited Luna to whitelisted, i.e. verified, validators on Terra. This Luna is locked for 21 days as per the standard staking lockup. Meanwhile, B-ETH is created with the help of another crypto project called Lido Finance, which makes it possible to tokenize staked ETH so that it's tradable on the Ethereum blockchain. For context, any ETH staked on the Beacon chain is currently locked until Ethereum transitions to proof of stake. Lido Finance's staked ETH, or ST-ETH, is locked in a special smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain, which then mints a corresponding amount of B-ETH on the Terra blockchain for use in the Anchor protocol. Now, as far as I understand, B-ETH can be withdrawn and converted back to ST-ETH at any time. And herein lies the secret sauce. the staking rewards from the BLUNA and BETH deposited by borrowers as collateral on the Anchor protocol are actually earned by the Anchor protocol itself. Note that this is in addition to the interest borrowers are paying on any UST they borrowed. Now, recall that staking rewards on Terra are around 9% per year. On Ethereum's Beacon chain, the staking rewards are currently around 5% per year. There's currently around $3.2 billion of BLUNA and around $650 million of BETH deposited by borrowers on the Anchor protocol. That's around $3.9 billion on the staking side. On the borrowing side, there's currently around $1.8 billion of UST that's been borrowed, and borrowers are paying around 13% per year on that UST. This means that there's a total of $5.7 billion of interest-bearing assets on Anchor protocol. So, for the sake of simplicity, let's say the total interest rate on this amount is 10%. This means the Anchor protocol itself is generating $570 million every year in staking rewards and interest on UST debt. Some quick maths tells you that $570 million is enough to pay the promised interest rate of 20% for up to $2.85 billion UST, at which point the Anchor protocol would break even. This promised interest rate is known as the Anchor rate, and it is set by community governance using the ANC token I mentioned earlier. Any additional income made by the Anchor protocol is put into the yield reserve, which consists of UST. The UST in the yield reserve is used to pay out additional interest to UST lenders when the Anchor protocol isn't generating enough income to maintain the Anchor rate, which is again 20%. A portion of the yield reserve is also used to buy ANC to ensure that the token increases in value as adoption of the protocol increases, at least in theory. This is important because ANC issuance is how the Anchor protocol incentivizes borrowing, and borrowing is important because the Anchor protocol generates income from the BLUNA and BETH deposited by borrowers, as well as the interest being paid on any borrowed UST. ANC issuance is why you can currently earn around 1% per year by borrowing UST on Anchor protocol, even though you technically owe 13% per year on the UST you borrowed. Now, if this all sounds too good to be true, well, you're partially correct. The Anchor protocol is amazing, but it also has its fair share of risks. For starters, there's the risks associated with the UST stablecoin itself. UST's peg effectively depends on the price of Luna, and this is something that can and has been affected by crypto market crashes. That said, UST has held its peg quite well despite the recent crypto market crash, and some would say it's even more stable than centralized stablecoins. UST also doesn't run the risk of being shut down by regulators because it's fully decentralized, but there are still some regulatory risks involved regardless. Welcome to crypto. Now, another risk on Anchor protocol relates to the integrity of its smart contracts. In plain English, it's possible there's a bug somewhere in the code that could result in a massive loss of funds. Besides the fact that no such exploit has occurred on Anchor protocol since its launch, you can actually buy insurance on any UST you deposit. Note that this insurance doesn't cover any issues related to UST losing its peg. Now, the biggest risk associated with Anchor protocol is arguably the solvency of the protocol itself. A few moments ago, I mentioned that the current income of the Anchor protocol makes it possible for it to pay a 20% interest rate on around 2.85 billion UST. The thing is that there is more than double that amount currently deposited on the Anchor protocol, and the yield reserve is being slowly drained, meaning the Anchor protocol might not be able to afford to pay a 20% interest rate to UST savers in the not-so-distant future. If and when that happens, ANC token holders will likely vote to change the Anchor rate to something that's more sustainable, or more accurately, an Anchor rate that can be achieved with the incentive mechanisms the protocol has at its disposal, namely ANC token issuance to entice borrowers. In a worst-case scenario, however, this Anchor rate adjustment and associated incentives wouldn't be enough to bring balance to the Anchor protocol, at which point we could potentially see a massive UST sell-off which would throw it completely off its peg, causing havoc across Terra's ecosystem. Now, luckily, it looks like this is unlikely to happen, and that's because the Terra community recently passed a proposal to refill Anchor Protocol's yield reserve with $450 million using funds from the recently formed Lunar Foundation Guard, a non-profit that coordinates Terra's development. This should make it possible for Anchor Protocol to maintain a 20% interest rate on deposited UST for another year, and upcoming upgrades should improve the protocol's efficiency as well. This just goes to show you how powerful cryptocurrency governance can be, especially when there's a big treasury. You can learn about the power of cryptocurrency governance using the link in the description. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Anchor Protocol tutorial. So, the first step to using Anchor Protocol is to download the Terra Station wallet browser extension, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. On the Chrome Web Store, click Add to Chrome and then Add Extension when the pop-up comes up. Next, click the puzzle piece in the top right of your browser, find the Terra Station wallet extension and click on it. In the extension, click New Wallet. This should open up a page that looks like this. Give your wallet a suitable name, a strong password, and make sure you copy that mnemonic phrase. Pro tip, write down these words on a physical piece of paper, put it in a safe place, and don't show it to anyone. You can use these words to recover your crypto if anything happens to your wallet or computer. So, once that's done, click the box that says I have written down the mnemonic and click Submit. Note that the wallet doesn't allow capital letters in the name, so if you get an error, that's why. You'll then be asked to identify 2 randomly selected words from your mnemonic phrase. After that, click Submit. And that's it. The Terra wallet has been set up. All that's left is to click Connect, and this will conveniently open a window that prompts you to deposit either Luna or UST. What's cool about Terra is that because Luna and UST are interchangeable at the protocol level, this means that you can use a stablecoin to pay for transaction fees. Because you're going to deposit UST into the Anchor protocol, you might as well buy UST directly. To add UST to your wallet, you can either use a cryptocurrency exchange or the Transact Fiat on-ramp when you click the little buy button on the page. I personally prefer using a cryptocurrency exchange because I'd rather not give my personal details to a third-party payment processor. Now, the only exchanges that support native UST are currently Binance, Huobi, KuCoin, and Bitfinex, and I personally prefer the first. If you haven't set up a Binance account yet, you can do so using the tutorial in the top right here. It also comes with a juicy discount on trading fees. Note that you don't need a memo to withdraw UST to your wallet, but you will need a memo when you send your UST back to a cryptocurrency exchange. Anyways, once you have some UST in your wallet, the next step is to head on over to the Anchor Protocol, and yes, I'll leave a link to the Anchor Protocol app in the description too. On the home page of the Anchor Protocol, click Connect Wallet in the top right. Select Terra Station Wallet, then click Connect when your wallet asks you to confirm that you want to interact with the dApp. In the spot where it said Connect Wallet, you should now see some of your wallet information as well as your UST balance. Now that you're connected, click on the Earn tab at the top of the page. Click Deposit and then select the amount of UST you want to earn interest on. Remember to keep a bit of UST in your wallet for fees, or else you'll have to go back and buy some more from an exchange or elsewhere. Once you're happy with the amount you've selected, click Proceed. You'll be asked to enter your password and confirm the transaction, and I recommend clicking the little box that says Save Password if you plan on using the Anchor Protocol again in the coming days or weeks. Once that's done, click Post. After a few seconds, your transaction will be complete, and if you click OK and scroll down, you'll see how much interest you can expect to earn in a year, month, week, and day by clicking on the grey boxes. Whenever you want to withdraw, just click Withdraw, enter the amount you want to withdraw, click Proceed, sign the transaction with your wallet, and boom, your UST is back in your wallet along with any interest you've earned. As for the insurance on your UST deposits, your options can be found by clicking the Protect Your Deposit button just below where your wallet address is. Anchor Protocol insurance is unfortunately outside the scope of this video, but I'll leave links to a few resources in the description down below. Now, to wrap things up, I want to talk a bit about Anchor Protocol's sustainability and roadmap. I'll start by saying that even the team behind the Anchor Protocol knows that a 20% interest rate on UST isn't sustainable in the long term. As explained by Anchor Protocol manager Matt Cantieri, it's likely that this interest rate will decline over time, primarily due to the decrease in staking rewards on the cryptocurrency blockchains Anchor Protocol is earning most of its interest from. Not only that, but ANC token issuance is limited. ANC has a maximum supply of 1 billion, and it could reach this maximum supply as soon as 2024. This means that there's only a few years of incentives left for the borrowers which the Anchor Protocol depends on for income. Once those ANC rewards run out, it's crucial that Anchor Protocol is sustainable while offering an attractive interest rate on UST deposits. Otherwise, it could succumb to competition from other borrowing and lending protocols. Luckily, it looks like this is unlikely to happen because the Anchor Protocol team is developing Anchor Protocol v2, which will change the protocol in 3 significant ways. First, it will let borrowers keep the interest earned on any staked assets they're using as collateral to borrow UST. Second, it will introduce staked SOL on Solana, staked AVAX on Avalanche, and staked Atom on Cosmos as additional sources of collateral. And finally, it will improve the borrowing interface so that borrowers can see exactly how much UST they can borrow in dollar terms before being liquidated. Now, I'm sure there are many other features that Anchor Protocol v2 will introduce that I didn't mention here, but in my defense, there doesn't seem to be a single document that details them all. The only information I could find is on Twitter, and it's mostly threads from DeFi degens with no specific dates as to when we could see v2 released. It's also not clear what the interest rates on deposited UST will be with these new features. If and when I figure out exactly what's going on with Anchor Protocol v2, I'll be sure to let you all know in my Telegram channel. And you can check out the top crypto Telegram channels using the link in the description. That's all for today's Anchor Protocol explainer and tutorial. If you enjoyed the show, smashing that like button is the best way to let me know. Remember to subscribe to the channel and ping that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. If you're looking for more from the Coin Bureau, here's where you can go. First, there's my second channel called Coin Bureau Clips, where I post exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes footage. Next, there's my recently released Coin Bureau podcast with iHeartMedia, now available on platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Then there's my Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, where you can see photos of me and the Coin Bureau gang. I also have a Telegram where I post detailed daily crypto updates that will help if you're getting slammed, and a weekly newsletter where I reveal my master plans. Last but not least, there's the Coin Bureau merch store where you can find hoodies, sweaters, beanies, and tees. All these resources and more are waiting for you down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all real soon.